I so there's an Amazon guy outside, guys, and the dogs will not let me not notice. They will let me know. They say, hey, there's a guy out here, please come. Anyway, what I was saying was the next time you're triggered, your body is going to tell you in a physical way. And I think as a species, because we have been taught to ignore our intuition, to ignore our bodies and the signs and messages it's telling us on the reg, we don't notice these things. But I think it's really important to start noticing the way that your body presents to you that you're feeling triggered in a physical way. And that's gonna look like having a faster heartbeat. Maybe you feel tensed up. Maybe you feel like yelling or shouting or having this feeling, like I mentioned, like you're gonna lose it. These are gonna be physical symptoms of feeling triggered. And your ego is gonna prefer to take anything that they feel is uncomfortable or doesn't align with your beliefs and the concepts about your identity, or these really triggered emotions. They're gonna take these and they're going to dump them on others because that's what the ego prefers. They don't wanna hold them. They wanna give them to someone else. This is yours now. They would do that. They do this intentionally because they would rather let someone else deal with those than for us to have to deal with these painful emotions that we're having. And I get it. And I think that's also kind of a way that we maybe unhealthy coping mechanisms is kind of a way of not dealing with these emotions as well, especially if we're feeling triggered. Sometimes we'll project onto other people these feelings. Sometimes we'll project these feelings onto ourselves by using things that are an unhealthy coping mechanism. Now, I might not be right about that, but that's something that feels true to me. So it's really helpful to find ways to work with your triggers. And Dr. Nicole LePera has an example of, seeing a bunch of dishes in the sink really triggers her. And the reason it triggers her is because I guess something happened when she was a kid where she felt like she was not considered. And so when she sees a bunch of dishes in the sink, it makes her feel like nobody considered her. And that makes her really angry, like to the point where she acts out. And obviously these things that we feel triggered by are probably going to be related to something we felt when we were kids. And I think it's really important to become aware of those, like dig a little bit deeper when you're feeling triggered and you feel capable of doing that. Ask yourself some more questions. Dig a little bit deeper into your triggers and try to understand like the root cause of these triggers. Another thing she does is she likes to take a triggering event or something that triggers her and try to make it a better experience. So now she really enjoys doing the dishes because she's learned that, she's become aware of that ego part of her. But she also likes to reward herself after. So she'll take her dog for a walk. Like she'll do something she really likes. She'll take her dog for a walk, or she will go up into her room and read on her bed for 30 minutes by herself. So I think that's really helpful to take triggering events and try to work with them. You got to read this book, guys, because this book is probably one of the best books I've ever read in my life. So I highly suggest you check them out. Should I wait for them to stop barking? You think it's safe? Okay, the last step, step 5. Appreciate and accept the ego. And I kind of mentioned this before, like, just don't judge your ego. Don't make your ego feel bad for being its ego. It did the best that it could with what it had. You let it run wild because you didn't know about it. But now you know about it, so you can choose to become aware of it and appreciate it for what it's done for you. I still do like a new moon and a full moon ritual. And one of the things I like to do when it comes to my rituals is write a gratitude letter to, well, now I'll call it my ego, but really I was just writing it to myself saying, hey, I appreciate all of these things that you have been trying to do in order to protect me. I know that you love me and you care about me, but we gotta stop doing these things because they're not working for me anymore. And so just really learning to appreciate and accept and be grateful for your ego, because you're gonna have to, you can't get rid of it. It's gonna be there forever. So you might as well just try to be friends with it. Just listen to it and then think about what it's saying to you and how you want to move forward with it, because you get to have that choice now that you're aware of it. So I hope that you found this episode really helpful, because really learning about the ego in this kind of different way that I'd never even thought about has been really interesting. And I really think that this is work that would make anybody feel better, feel lighter, feel like they're carrying less heavy stuff, like I said, in their backpacks. And I'm gonna mention it again, if you love her, awesome. But if you don't know who she is, her name is Dr. Nicole LePera. She is the holistic psychologist. You can follow her on Instagram at The Holistic Psychologist. She is wonderful. She has really cool posts. Her book, How to Do the Work, is amazing. I'm not finished yet, but I'm probably gonna like reread it like 30 times afterwards, because it is just so much good information. And it's like, I've had so many like aha moments while reading it. And then anything by Eckhart Tolle. Yeah, also Alan Watts. I have to say The Wisdom of Insecurity is like one of my favorite books. And I think insecurity stems from our egos. So I think reading that, he was before his time, guys. Reading his books like blows my mind. It makes me question everything in like the best way possible. And then anything by like Pema Chodron or Ram Dass. Pema Chodron wrote this book called When Things Fall Apart. That is a crazy Amazon truck noise. It sounds broken. It sounds like a hawk of some sort. Anyway, When Things Fall Apart, and it is amazing, but everything she's ever written is amazing. So hopefully you like this episode. If you decide you want to do ego work, I want to hear all about it. Also, if you want to go to Nicole's website, she has some prompts on there too, but the book has the prompts in them to help guide you through this ego work as well. So, but there's all different kinds of topics in her book. So she talks about trauma bonds, which is something I want to talk about here on the podcast soon, and so much more. So thank you for being here with me. I also want to announce that this is our 52nd episode. I haven't done an episode every week. I just want to say, there have been some weeks where I didn't do episodes just because I had some life stuff going on, which is normal. And I don't apologize for that, but I also do apologize for that because I'm a recovering people pleaser. But I think it's so exciting, and I just want to thank you guys. That means that we have an episode for every week for a whole year, and I just think that's awesome. This is one of the things that my ego told me not to do, and I did it anyway. Carla, what's up? I just want to thank everybody who has ever listened and shared and left a review, or has contacted me personally. That super makes my day to hear from you. So whenever that happens, thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who has paid for a subscription. You're helping me keep my, I don't know, boat afloat. Is that an analogy? I tend to screw up analogies. So thank you again for being here. And I look forward to continuing this New Moon Wellbeing podcast journey with you guys. Love you so much.